Metroid Prime speedrunning is a test of skill, patience, and endurance. Runners have to push themselves to their absolute limits to get the top times in this game, with any percent being the most popular category. Recently, a new trick was made viable, and runners can push the run to even further heights, such as T3 obtaining the coveted 46-minute in-game time just a few days ago. What if I were to tell you that you could get one of Samus's most powerful upgrades before you even grab Charge Beam? Almost half a decade ago, you would have called me crazy. Today, we're going to talk about Metroid Prime's most obscure trick. In order to understand the current state of Metroid Prime Any% speedrunning, we need to go back a few years to the premiere of the Metroid Prime Any% TAS, or Tool Assisted Speedrun. On July 31st, after 1 year and 4 months of working on the speedrun, Fusion Varia finished and presented the Prime Any% TAS on their YouTube channel, showing off many tricks and strats that were unheard of, even in a tool-assisted environment. One of these tricks, accessed via a secret world, or out of bounds in the room main plaza, allowed the player to wall crawl through several rooms to obtain a very important item, a power bomb expansion. Here's an explanation of how out of bounds works in this game. Secret worlds are the area that you see and access when you leave the playable area inside the map. Every room in the game is surrounded by an invisible box that's relative to its size. Inside this box, the game's gravity and jump mechanics work normally. Outside of that box is called the Aether, which has different properties than anything else in the game. You are stuck in a state where you are unable to jump. In addition to that, you slowly and constantly move upwards in the Aether. When moving from the Aether to inside of the box, you will fall and lose control of Samus in Prime 1. This is something that's called limited influence. However, before you fall, you have 3 frames to perform a jump and gain height. Most games run at about 60 FPS or frames per second. 1 frame is equal to 0.016 repeating seconds. So that would give you about 0.05 seconds to input a jump. Now that we have the out of bounds basics out of the way, let me explain how this trick works. In the TAS, Samus moves so fast between rooms that the rooms themselves do not load immediately when Samus reaches them. This allowed Fusion Varia to reach Magma Pool, the room that the power bomb expansion was in, without the rooms being loaded yet. Setting up the right height, they were able to grab the power bomb while also being pushed down and out of the floor when the room loaded. This lets Samus escape and get back in bounds through Aether jumps and a well-placed ceiling warp. Then she dashes to the other side of Magma Pool to make her great escape after the grand heist. So why is this trick so important? The TAS presented a new way to go through the game and used a different route than the standard double IS route, which has been the fastest route since 2015. IS stands for a glitch called infinite speed. This is attained by morphing in a predetermined spot and moving the control stick to a specific angle to increase speed exponentially until Samus's speed hits a floating point exception, or not a number while the angle is held. During this morph state, Samus loses her outer shell and trades it for 2 special properties when using the boost upgrade. For 1 frame, Samus's speed becomes NAN. For the next frame after that, Samus occupies every unit of loaded space around her. While the trick is effective in helping speedrunners quickly beat the game, it is still very slow, taking 51 seconds to build up the speed needed to do the trick. This route removes the IS used in Magma Pool to get the power bomb, as it is obtained at the beginning of the run. This is excellent and all, but the trick is TAS only. There's no way that a human can perform the movement necessary to get the power bomb expansion early and unlock the true potential of the route, right? Well, as it turns out, quick movement wasn't the problem. On October 28th of 2020, GD Vertigo posted a screenshot in the Prime Speedrunning Discord. That's right, a power bomb expansion before even getting the Charge Beam on a Nintendo Wii. A few weeks before, some runners were experimenting with a technique called load delay. If you press Z to bring up the map while a room was still loading, You can delay the load of a room for a slight period of time. Combine this with buffer movement inputs and repeated use of the Z pause, you can slowly make your way through the unloaded room without it loading around you. This is a good time to mention that Prime is competitively timed with IGT, or in-game time, instead of real time, so the pausing and unpausing for slow movement doesn't cause much time loss. With a well-timed jump, we can make our way to Magma Pool with time Z presses to delay the load of the room. However, this is not the only thing that needs to be done. When jumping to the room, you need to land in the Aether at the right height to grab the power bomb expansion and escape the invisible room. Too high, and you get stuck in the room. Too low, and you don't get the expansion. Normally, you would be able to use a power bomb and destroy the breakable wall right next to the power bomb expansion, but since it's not loaded, it will not be destroyed. Thus, you will soft lock the game, and the only way to get out is to reset. There's also the issue of not seeing where the power bomb expansion is, so we have to use a visual cue and pause buffering to see where we need to be. After getting the power bomb expansion, Samus falls to the floor of the box, but also gets constantly pushed out of the Aether because of its unique properties. We can jump back into the Aether at the side of the room, transition rooms, and get back in bounds to continue the run. Overall, the trick and the new route save about 80 seconds, making this the fastest route to date and changing the way the game is speedran at the top level for the foreseeable future. For the last 8 months, top runners have used this trick to bring down their times lower and lower, and the current world record holder, T3, close to pushing the game to its absolute limit. Soon, we may even see an in-game time of 45 minutes, or maybe even beyond that. I hope you all enjoyed the explanation of this trick and its effect on one of my favorite speed games. If you enjoyed, please consider leaving a like, commenting, and even subbing to the channel. I had a lot of fun making this, and I definitely plan on making more of these. Also, you can join the Prime Speedrunning Community Discord to learn more about the run itself. Y'all have a great day, and stay hydrated.